You may remember a horse named Secretariat. Not too long ago, he won the Triple Crown. Now, I'm no expert on racehorses, but I'm told that at that time, Secretariat was worth about $1 million. I'm also told that a really good racehorse, one that won more than it lost, might be worth about $100,000. If Secretariat was worth 10 times more than a really good racehorse, it stands to reason then that he was able to run 10 times faster, right? Of course not. Secretariat couldn't run 10 times faster than his opponents, then 5 times faster, right? Still too fast. Then how about twice as fast? No way. How about 1% faster? 1%. The difference between a $1 million racehorse and a $100,000 racehorse is that the $1 million racehorse can run just 1% faster. If so, then there is no logical reason for us to believe that the difference between a man who earns, say, $100,000 a year and one who earns $10,000 a year is that the man who earns $100,000 a year works 10 times harder or is 10 times more productive in each of his 4 mini-environments. Indeed, just as with racehorses, it is that extra 1% that can make all the difference in the world. This notion of 1% is no mere cliché. It embodies the fundamental concept that success is a geometric progression. Notice the chart on page 3 of the appendix. It shows the difference between a geometric and a lineal progression. Lineal progressions progress along a straight line, whereas geometric progressions reflect a compounding of value by progressing in an upward curve. In our case, if success were a lineal progression, then massive amounts of improvement in each of our 4 mini-environments would be required to achieve any substantial advancement along the line. Yet, because success is a geometric progression, mere fine-tuning in any one of our 4 mini-environments will cause a substantial increase in our total success environment figure. This result occurs because each of our 4 mini-environments positively or negatively reinforces the others. We've already examined why this is true and how, for example, a low rating in our home mini-environment can profoundly affect our effectiveness at work. Remember the pharmacist from Des Moines? The CASE formula reflects this reinforcing nature of the mini-environments by requiring us to multiply the environments by each other, rather than simply adding them up. If all we did was add the values we had attached to each environment, then our progression would indeed be linear. But because they positively or negatively reinforce each other, they must therefore be multiplied by each other, which creates a geometric progression. Using the values we have assigned of from 1 to 3 for each mini-environment, and for each Y rating within each mini-environment, the highest possible score attainable on the CASE progression chart is 243. To attain that score, an individual would have to assign a value of 3 to all variables in the formula. If you have done so while working your CASE formula, I recommend that, unless you spend your spare time walking on water, you rework the figures and make a more honest appraisal. The average success environment score is 32. That reflects a completely average value of assigning a value of 2 to each of the variables in the equation. Most people will find their scores close to the figure 32. A score in the average range does not mean that you are average as compared to the next guy. It only means that you have decided that you are only making an average effort to use the potential that you have. The lowest possible success environment score is 1. To achieve that score, you would have to assign a 1 rating to all of your mini-environments and to all of your Y ratings within your mini-environments as well. If, after working the case formula, you determine that your total success environment equals 1, I recommend that you seek immediate psychiatric help. You're probably suicidal. It is interesting and important to note that the average success environment score of 32 is a whole lot closer to the lowest possible score of 1 than it is to the highest possible score of 243. This result is achieved because of the geometric nature of the formula. By fine-tuning just a few knobs within each mini-environment, the average success can accelerate geometrically into what we will next describe as the success mode. If all we did was stick to whole numbers, the case formula could produce 15,625 possible results. Nevertheless, these results can be lumped into 3 categories called modes. Please examine the chart entitled Modes and Levels of Potential on page 4 of your appendix. It shows that the lowest possible mode extends mathematically from 1 through 3. It is called the failure mode. It depicts a total success environment that is genuinely unsatisfactory to the individual involved. The median mode extends mathematically from 4 through 48. It is called the mediocrity mode. It's where most of us spend most of our time and depicts a level of satisfaction that is only marginally satisfactory. Again, it's important to note how mathematically close both the failure mode and mediocrity modes are located. Again, this is due to the geometric nature of success. Finally, the highest possible mode extends mathematically from 49 through 243. It's called the success mode. It depicts a genuine satisfaction with most, if not all, aspects of an individual's life. Individuals operating within the success mode are utilizing, by their own calculation, more than an average amount of their own potential. Most of us wallow in the mediocrity mode. We border on failure. The irony of this statement is that with slight additional effort, we can geometrically accelerate our rate of success. Generally speaking, the extent to which we are satisfied with each of our 4 mini-environments will not change substantially until we change our average Y factor by personally seizing control of and responsibility for our conduct in each of the 4 mini-environments. This requires a critical evaluation of our Y factor and immediate efforts to seize control. A mode is nothing more than a mathematical guideline, a useful but general tool for assessing the extent to which we are utilizing our full potential. It provides a check-at-a-glance approach to assess our progress. The modes are disproportionate in size because of the geometric nature of the equation. It is ironic that so many of us find ourselves crowded into the smaller mediocrity, or worse, failure mode, when there is literally so much room at the top. Each of the 3 success modes can be divided into 3 levels. These levels are called levels of potential. There are a total of 9 levels of potential. 1 is the lowest level, and 243 is the highest level. Levels of potential vary from person to person, and while they are mathematically arbitrary, they have the effect of dividing each mode into 3 equal levels. The result is that we can measure our progress within a particular mode as we fine-tune our lives within each of our 4 mini-environments. Look again at the chart entitled Case Geometric Progression on page 3 of your appendix. There you'll notice horizontal categories depicting the 3 modes: failure, mediocrity, and success. The 9 vertical divisions represent the levels of potential. Levels 1 through 3 are inherent to the failure mode. Levels 4 through 6 are inherent to the mediocrity mode, and levels 7 through 9 are inherent to the success mode. Now, based upon the result you obtained with your CASE formula, determine the level of potential at which you currently operate. Stop the cassette and begin. For example, if my SE equaled 32, exactly average, I would operate in the mediocrity mode at the 5th level of potential. Remember, these values were fixed by you. They represent your own assessment of the extent to which you are realizing your full potential. The purpose of this exercise is not to depress you. It is to provide instead a useful learning tool that may be used as a system of evaluation time and again to measure your progress as you continue your journey called success. The CASE progression chart lends itself to the realistic establishment of goals. If, for example, upon conducting the exercise for the first time, you find your rating to be within the mediocrity mode at the 6th level of potential, then you might realistically establish a 30-day goal of being in the success mode at the 7th level of potential. Periodically, at least monthly, the exercise should be conducted anew and your progress measured each step of the way. Please remember that this exercise is just a model, a conceptual tool. If you happen to land in the failure mode this time around, it doesn't mean that you are now and always will be a failure. It only means that you personally are not satisfied with the status of your existence at this time. Consistent with the entire concept of CASE, the solution to that dissatisfaction rests with you. Now, please re-examine your ratings in each of your 4 mini-environments. Determine where you are in special need of improvement. In which mini-environment is your existence not satisfactory? Upon which mini-environments should you concentrate your efforts to improve? Now, examine your why factors. In which mini-environments are you in complete control? In which do you exert only moderate control? And in which are you out of control? Where shall you focus your attention to regain the control which it is your right and responsibility to exercise? The real value of this entire process is that it permits us to isolate those areas of our lives that are not satisfactory. By fine-tuning our existence in those many environments that need help, we can create the geometric progression we discussed earlier. Remember, you don't have to be able to run 10 times faster to be 10 times more valuable to yourself, to those with whom you work, and to those whom you love. There you have it, the CASE success formula that you can use to evaluate the extent to which you are satisfied with your own existence. More important, it is a tool to be used for isolating those areas of your life that need improvement. With this tool, you can now focus your attention upon those techniques and methods which will help you increase your rating in those areas which require special attention. The rest of this 3-album cassette series is devoted to providing you with just what the doctor ordered. Good advice on how to lift your personal ratings in each mini-environment. The remainder of this cassette album will be devoted to exploring perhaps the most important mini-environment of all, the inside mini-environment. CASE is a system distilled down to manageable units, a context in which we can relate all the advice we receive and ideas we have to the betterment of our existence in one or more of our 4 mini-environments. We can proceed now, equipped with an accurate idea of where we, as individuals, require special attention. We can evaluate and implement advice relative to that need, secure in the knowledge that among our own potential is the ability to ignite a personal geometric rate of success equal to and worthy of our enormous potential as human beings.